Hi, this is Cheryl back with you from Farmhouse, Frugally, and today I'm in a fabric challenge. Fabric is not my favorite thing to work with, so you will have to bear with me. I have a lot of fabric. Most of it is primitive from my primitive country days, but I thought that I would join this challenge because it would be good for me to do something a little bit different. So I am starting with this canvas bag from Office Max that I never use because it says Office Max on it, or Office Depot rather. So today I decided this would be a good, easy flip. So I took some check fabric that I have in my stash, and I just went ahead and sort of glue hemmed. I am not fond of pulling out the sewing machine, and my sewing machine is not easily accessible at the moment in my craft room. So today I am going to be using either regular glue or fabric glue on these projects, but you get the idea. Now I just go ahead and glue that down on 3 sides, leaving the top hem side open for a nice large pocket. And then once I have that done, I decide to make a second smaller pocket using a white curtain fabric that I have on hand. And I double it up because it is a little bit on the thin side. And then once I get that done, then I went ahead and just added that pocket to the center of the large pocket. And so already I like it a lot better, and decided that I wanted to just go ahead and add a little bit of an embellishment on the top white pocket. I went into my stash. I had a number of different things I could use, but I have this beautiful bird transfer, and I just cut a piece of it off. I will leave the information in the description box. And I just went ahead and transferred on one of the black birds and a couple of leaves onto the front of that pocket. And I really like the way the blackbird caused the rest of the bag that has the black basic part of it to kind of pop. And so that is all that there was to this simple flip. But if you have a canvas bag that you're not using, this is just a great way to kind of cover up some of the stuff that you may not like. And this way it also gives a couple of extra pockets for some items to be held. So it could even be used as a pocketbook, stick credit cards or what have you in the front. Now this is part of an open collab called Fabricate Your Ideas with 4 hosts: DIY with Aria, Rustic and Lace, Indie Annie Jones, and One Way Designs 238. The second thing I'm doing is taking this large embroidery hoop I got free at my dump, and I am starting with some antiquing wax to just stain this and give it just a nice dark color so that it doesn't look like that raw wood, and so that it matches better with the fabric item that I'm going to be using with it. If you like, you can mix the antiquing wax with clear wax, but I like it straight out of the bottle sometimes, so that's all I'm doing, wiping it on and rubbing it off with a paper towel. And I did both of them, even though technically you won't see the one, the smaller inside one. So once I was finished with both of them and those were dry, if you had seen my Brimfield antique flea market haul, then you see that I had picked up on the ground from somebody who had just dropped them and never picked them up, 2 of the coffee and fertilizer and seed type burlap sacks. And I washed it 20 times because it smelled all musty. And then I decided that this would be a great piece of fabric to use for this flip. So I just put the inside embroidery hoop inside the sack to get it positioned where I wanted it, and then just took the outside embroidery hoop and snapped it right over it. It took a couple tries to get it exactly lined up the way that I wanted it to be lined up. And then once I had that, then I went and just pulled it kind of tautly so that it would not have a lot of wrinkles. And then you can glue this certainly if you want to keep it forever like this, but I opted, since it was in there so nice and tight, to just go ahead and cut the excess of the burlap sack off. And once I had that off, I did not glue it. It wasn't necessary to glue. And then I can use the burlap that's left over for other projects in the future. Then I went into my stash and I wanted to pick up a little bit of the red that is in the seed sack. So I have this beautiful red twine-like, I think I got at Home Goods maybe many Christmases ago. And so I just took that and wound that over the wood top piece, one to pick up the red and two to kind of hide a little bit of that open-ended section on the top. And then I also fashioned a loop to hang it from, and it is very simple. I have 300 videos for you to enjoy, mostly thrift flips and dump finds and trash to treasures. I do not often do fabric, but if you would like to check out my channel, and I hope you will, there are many videos for you to enjoy, and I hope that you will also subscribe. And of course, if you like these, please hit the like button. So here it is hanging up. And I actually do like the way the red top pulls the red in on it. It is a very simple thing, but it's a great way to use one of those sacks if you happen to have one. And for me, both of those items were free, so it didn't cost me a thing. Now, I am going to make sure that I link all the creators in my description box as well as the playlist of anyone else who's joining in. So make sure you take time to check their videos out when you're finished with this one. Now this third item, I am using some more of that white fabric that was a shower curtain or a curtain that I had gotten at Goodwill a couple of years ago for $2 or $3. And I am just starting by taking a few of the transfers that I got on Amazon, and I just wanted to add just one or two of the roses and just have a little bit of a maybe shabby chic feel to this piece. So once I got those on there, then I pulled a piece of weathered barn board out of my stash, and I just went ahead and fit this first piece much like I did on the canvas, just making a pocket. So I fold up the edges to make sure that I don't have that showing. It makes it a little bit easier if you do this to kind of fold it like that and tuck it. Now, depending on what you're going to be putting into the pocket, you may want to make this a little bit loose. I left mine just slightly loose. Now, once I had this first pocket with the rose on the front of this board, then I had in mind that I wanted to use another piece of lace fabric that I had taken off a bathing suit cover up, and it was just the cuff that was on it. It was still sewed, and it absolutely happened to fit this item perfectly. Able to just slide that right on and glue it right to the top to finish this off. And then once I had this finished, then I wanted to take that raw edge and get some gray paint mixed with a little bit of antiquing wax, and between the two just go ahead and paint over the raw edge so that you wouldn't see that. For the most part, I knew that it would be hidden, but I didn't want that stark pine-ish color showing through. Now, once I had a little bit of the brown ink wax over the top of that, I just took a paper towel. Now, I have had these dry roses in my stash from last summer, and so I decided to just take some of them and cut them off and just put them right into this pocket, adding to the shabby chic feel of this item. I like the contrast of the white lace against the barn board with the flowers. Then I went ahead and I just decided I wanted to make a hang tag. I had some pink cardstock and some music type tissue paper and a number of different tiny transfers from, I believe, Amazon. And so I just went ahead and took a couple of flowers and a little key and a few other items that just sort of felt shabby chic. I added them to the music tissue, and then I went ahead and cut the tag, the hang tag, out in the shape of a tag and just would have put a one-hole punch on it and decoupaged that tissue to the top and then over the top. And then once that was dry, then I was able to just take a scrap piece of the white fabric that I made the original pocket from and just put that through the lace cuff and then added the hang tag on. And that is simple. And again, everything in this particular craft today is free to me, so it's been fun to use some of the things I have in my stash and do so frugally. So I hope you'll give this a try and let me know what you think of these items. So we did something basic with the tote bag, something rustic with the grain sack, and something shabby with this barn board. And now that is going to take me on to something primitive country. A few years ago, I picked up at the dollar store these little boy and little girl cutouts. So I thought today that I would take the little boy cutout and I would cut it in pieces and patch it with some tape just to give myself a little gingerbread boy little pattern that I could use. I took a piece of muslin that I had in my stash and I put it in a bowl with some coffee and some coffee grounds, and I just wrung that out and let that dry. So once that was nice and dry and looked grungy, then all I did was just take my glue gun with some fabric glue and just glued that together and left the top of the head open, and then took some fiber fill and just went ahead and stuffed that down in. I found it actually easier to use one of the glue sticks to push the fiber fill down in, and then went ahead when I was finished with enough fiber fill and glued up the rest of that. And then I took a piece of primitive country fabric from my stash and just tied on a sweet little bow, and then decided that I wanted to put a face on this. This would be a great little bowl filler. It could be a cute ornament for a Christmas tree. It could be a great tag, a hang tag on a gift at Christmas time. I took that same glue stick that I was using and just dipped it into the brown antiquing wax and gave him some buttons. And then I just went ahead and took some blush on a Q-tip, gave him a little bit of blush, and then with the end of my paintbrush, just gave him a little bit of eyes and a mouth with some black paint. And that is it. Now, I did make two of these because it's always better to have two or three. I cut out some more, so I can certainly make more in the future. But for today, just have those two. So I want to make sure that you remember, check out the description box for the hosts and for the playlist of everyone else who has joined in today's fabric challenge. And please remember to subscribe to my channel and check out any number of other videos that I have on my Farmhouse Frugally website. So let me know which of these was your favorite today, and I thank you so much for stopping by. I have to say, I think this might be my favorite. I like the tote bag, and I think it's practical, and I'll use it, but these are just so stinking cute. So thanks a lot. I'll take care. I'll see you soon.